Uh, yeah, Ramendra Kumar, he asked a question here. He says, do you think storytelling should be included in the curriculum, in the school curriculum? Let me tell you that she has already worked with schools on designing curriculum, and she has also designed some of the curriculums for some organizations, some educational institutions. She's been an education consultant. So can you talk to us a little bit about this question? Should it be a part of the curriculum? And also your experience of working with curriculum designing.
Right. My answer will be yes and no. Yes, because everyone is currently, the way the system is working and the kind of educational spaces we are working in, it will be tough to continue it without linking it to the curriculum in some way. Having said that, it should also have its own space. You know, if it becomes structured like everything else, then it's problematic. Then it becomes, "Arey, story time hai," and the teachers are not going to do it. Yeah, so it has to be with the curriculum and yet semi-structured is what I'd say. So, for example, and it'll really work. So we were working with a school in Vishakhapatnam, and then we said, just give us 15 minutes. We had to negotiate with the management. So just give us 15 minutes of storytelling a day. And that never ended up happening. Some teacher said, oh, second period was not free. Somebody said, oh, I had a test. So finally we said, okay, just after assembly, 15 minutes is allotted for storytelling time. And the first thing that happened is children started coming to school on time because they didn't want to miss the storytelling. The parents are asking, what's going on? My son wants to be on time suddenly. Yeah, so if we can work in such ways where no one feels that it is imposed on them. Yeah, so yes, bring it into the structure, connect it with the syllabus, all of that, but do not make it completely, it has to fit just this way, unless it is semi-structured. That's my understanding. Storytelling and any arts, arts in education cannot work that way. We have to allow freedom for the teacher to contextualize, to see what is working for her classroom, yeah, and yet we have to have a larger framework within which, because she can't just go all over the place, yeah, and then we are lost. So semi-structured connection is highly recommended, yeah.
Wow, fantastic. In fact, I saw a solution in the answer what you gave for a problem which I'm facing. In our schools across, we have this life skills period.
Right.
Okay, and when you do life skills, I always had this question, how can you teach values through chalk and talk?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't write honesty on the board and say, come on, be honest from today.
Never, yeah.
But that's how it is regimented in the structure where you say, okay, you have to cover this many hours of value building or life skills in the school. Now, the answer what you gave, don't make it regimented. Don't try to structure it so much that, okay, 11:45 to 12:15 is your life skills class.
Yeah.
People will be like, okay, I switch off. But have the fluid there where you integrate it to your curriculum in such a way that children do not know the boundary. They don't see the boundary that, okay, from 11:45 to 12:15 or 2 o'clock to 3:30, whatever, there is no line there, but still it's very much part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
So I think I'll go back to my principals and my teachers and tell them, listen, try to integrate it rather than trying to put a boundary and say that, okay, I'm going to do it and then put a checklist tick on the mark saying that I did life skills, I did value addition.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so I think a lot of demand is coming to you from people on, can you tell a small story now? Okay, somebody wants to listen to you.
Yeah.
And Gayatri says from Nellore, she says, first of all, hello.
Hello, yes, how are you?
And she also says, you are my inspiration. I'm experiencing storytelling is great. The hungry man. I don't know what that means, but she says hungry man and a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's one of the stories that's there on YouTube, a very hungry man. And yes, she has messaged me. She watched it and she shared it with her children. Very nice, Gayatri. Yeah. Glad to see you here.
All right. Reeti says, so proud of you. Storytelling as part of school curriculum is great. And
thank you, Reeti.
Sammy says, absolutely. My daughter waits for her storytelling class in school every week and feels so sad if somehow she misses it, of course. So I think we'll not keep our viewers away from you in terms of a story. And remember when I started off, we said that she is a globetrotter. She keeps traveling the world for storytelling festivals. And she is now due to travel to Bhubaneswar, if I'm not wrong, in December.
Yeah.
For your International Storytelling Festival, which is coming up in December.
Yeah,
But
I'm curating that.
she's curating the whole festival.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe you can talk to us a little bit about that, and then take a break and share the story which your father
Yeah.
had shared with you, and you went on to share it with the international audience at Greece.
Greece,
And
yes.
as somebody asked, can you share a small story? I think
Absolutely.
we can come back.
Absolutely.
And Mozam, we'll come back to your question after all this. I
Achha.
know your question is here. I have noted that, and I'll come back to that. So now over to you.
Okay, you were asking about Bhubaneswar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Curating that.
yes. So this is again a long story, but anyway, finally, in short, what's happened right now is that the Odisha state government is having the Hockey World Cup. They are hosting it at Bhubaneswar, and along with that, we are very happy that Bakul Foundation is joining hands and having an international storytelling festival there. And I'll be curating that, and alongside also bringing a small storytelling festival to Hyderabad, International Storytelling Festival,
Wow.
which we'll be organizing. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah, it's been very exciting because I took it up. It's a project, it's work, but it just feels like, I'm just reaching out to friends and say, hi, hey, listen, Vaiki from Spain, can you come? So and so, can you come? So it doesn't feel like work at all at one level. You're just reaching out to the people who will fit in for this. I'm very excited about it. There's a lot more to do, and yeah, we'll have to officially announce it and get our national storytellers also as part of this, because that's the idea. The international, the national, the regional tellers, everybody gets to interact with each other, learn, share, grow together, and do some of it in Hyderabad also. So yeah, December we can look forward to 2 of those.
And you're putting together all of this?
Yeah, I'm the curator. I'm co-organizing with Sujit Mahapatra from the Bakul Foundation for Bhubaneswar. For Hyderabad, it is with my Story Arts Foundation team. We are going to be doing it, and we also have the government expressing willingness, some of the institutions to come on board. So let's see if that happens, and super. Yeah.
All right. So then I'll take a leave from the screen now.
Okay,
Where you
for
get
the
the full
Greece
screen
story.
to share your Greece story.
Okay.
And then I come back to talk about a question from Mozam and Story Arts Foundation of yours, in terms of a Story Arts Foundation which
Yeah.
you founded, and
Right.
also an interesting thing which you said on your TED Talk. I have noted that down. I'll come back to you with your questions.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
So
Well.
here it is, between the master storyteller and all of you. Enjoy this story.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for asking for another story. I'll be happy to share one. And this is the one that I was mentioning, that I've heard from my childhood from my father, which has just stayed with me. And I shared it in Greece, and again a little story about that. We were just talking, Chandra and I, about how storytellers have to be flexible. So in Greece, I was scheduled to share a story at the International Yoga Celebration. And it was an open air event, and it rained that evening, so the event was cancelled. That was my only event in Greece. And the person who had put it all together, she was very upset. And the next day she said, there's a storytelling event, let's just go and watch it. I said, okay, great, I'll be very happy to see other storytellers. It was a beautiful setup, and there was a Greek storyteller narrating tales, and in Greek, and I was watching it, and it was not Greek and Latin. I could understand what was happening, the essence of it. And at the end, he said something, and I turned to my friend. I said, is he asking whether somebody wants to share a story? She said, yes, do you want to share? I said, yes, I want to share a story. And I thought, how foolish of me. These are Greek people. I have just come here randomly, and I raised my hand, and he said, please come up. I said, but I don't know Greek. Can I tell in English? He said, no problem, we'll follow. And so I went on to share this story. And surprisingly, we got a lovely response from the audience there. So I'm sharing it again here. And this is called Yellam Nanmaike. So once upon a time, there lived a king who had a minister with a very strange habit. Whatever happened, this man would say, Yellam Nanmaike Raja, Yellam Nanmaike. And Yellam Nanmaike in Tamil means everything is for good. Now, it can be a bit annoying, if someone is all the time saying everything is for good, everything is for good. And the Raja also would get a bit annoyed, but he knew the minister was basically wise, and so he let him be. One day, the Raja had eaten too much of brinjal, which he loved. And he had a bad stomach. And he was going and he was throwing up and cribbing and crying everywhere. The nurse came in. The doctors came in. And when the minister came in, he said, Yellam Nanmaike Raja. And the Raja said, this is it. I am unwell. I have a stomach upset and even that is good. What is wrong with you? The minister kept quiet. He would not apologize. He would not take back his words. Throw this fellow in the jail, the king said. Yellam Nanmaike Raja. The minister said for that as well, and the Raja went, I'm so glad he's out of my sight. Well, the minister was gone, away in the jail. And our king recovered, and a week later he was off for a hunt, which he loved to do. And he went out hunting with his entourage, and they went into the beautiful forest with the trees and the birds. And in this beautiful forest, our king was going, and there he saw a wild boar and shot it just in time. If you know, wild boars are very difficult to shoot, and he went, yes, I got him. And he turned around. There was nobody. The king just realized he was lost in the jungle. He'd ridden so fast on his horse that none of his fellows could keep pace with him. Now he was wondering and confused. He didn't know where they were or what to do, he and the horse. The only thing he knew was, if the minister had been there, he would not have lost his way. Because you see, the wise minister was the only one who could keep pace with his riding. Anyways, the king got off and he went around here and there, irritated, angry. He found some water in the river and he jumped to drink it when a big thorn cut right through his flesh. Already I'm lost, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and then this wound here. He took a cloth out of his waist and he tied it up, had some water, let the horse drink some water, and together they kept walking here, there, here, and suddenly they heard some sounds. Dum ba dum ba dum ba dum. And the king said, oh, people. And he went rushing there with his horse and he said, hey, I'm the king of this land. And the people turned to him, Arda? They tied his hands, they tied his legs, and before he knew it, he was placed on an altar. And there was a knife being sharpened. A nice, big, long one like an axe. And there he was lying down. And there he could see a big deity of the people. Yes, he just realized he was going to be sacrificed. And as the shining knife went up in the air, our king was trying to talk to them. I am your king. What are you doing? They were busy. One man shouted, oh! And they took off the rope. They untied him and they sent him away because he was an injured piece and he could not be sacrificed. The king was so glad he was injured. Somehow he found his way out, and suddenly some citizens met him en route. Raja, what are you doing here? Please take me to my palace, he said. And so they took him to the palace. The first thing he did on his return, release the minister, he said. And then he went back to his room, and once he was fine, he called the minister and said, I'm really sorry. You're right. Yellam Nanmaike. You know, when I had this injury on my hand, I thought, what a terrible thing. But then, it was only because of the injury that I was saved, that I came back here today. I understand what you mean by Yellam Nanmaike. Okay, Raja, the minister said. Yellam Nanmaike. But tell me one thing, the Raja said. I put you in jail. What can be Yellam Nanmaike about that? What's so good about being in the jail? And the minister said, well, Raja, if I had come with you, I would not have been injured and I would have been sacrificed by now. So it was a very good thing I was in jail. Yellam nanmaike Raja, yellam nanmaike.
Well, I'm sure the audience, wherever they are giving you an applause. So I don't want to deny you of that. So I'm applauding on their behalf.
That. I hope you did like it. It's one of my favorite stories. And as I mentioned it, Chandra, I had studied very hard for the PhD entrance, and I cleared the entrance exam. And there were 4 of us in the interview, and I didn't clear the interview. I was terribly disappointed. And my younger son came to me and he was patting my head and he said, Ellam nanmaike mama, ellam nanmaike. Sorry.
Yeah. You like some water? Something? Yeah. No, in fact, yeah, that is true. I mean, this story, it was told to you by your father, and you have shared it with hundreds and thousands of people across. But I'm sure, I mean, look at the response which is coming even now. I'm sure some of them have heard it before, but the comments are like wonderful, mesmerizing, nice to listen to you live, amazed, wow, and people have started quoting Ellam Nanmaike on the comment. So, I mean, that's how it is, enjoyed a lot, thank you, and all that. So the point is, this has its significance, and that's the beauty of stories, you know. Yeah. They are timeless treasures. It stays with you forever and ever and ever.